Wednesday afternoon from Bosse Field. It's the middle game between the first place Sussex County Miners and the Evansville Otters. Good evening, or good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Bosse Field. We had a late night here last night in Evansville as Sussex County stunned the Otters, a 5-3 comeback victory in 10 innings. Now Evansville looking to bounce back and even up this series at 1 game apiece. A lot of kids in attendance today for this Wednesday afternoon ball game. For the Otters, you have to like this. They hit the hay last night right after the game, show up right back at the ballpark and trying to bounce back after one of their more upsetting losses of the year.
Yeah, and if there's a game this season that you wanted a quick turnaround from, last night was certainly it. A game you want to forget quickly, and Otters just kind of let one slip away from them last night. Had multiple instances in the top of the ninth where they were just a strike away from closing out the Miners, and the Miners, you got to give them credit, just persisted on. Their bullpen gave them a chance, and they made the most out of the opportunity they had.
Well, before the chaos of the ninth and the 10th inning, we saw really good pitching on both sides from Tyler Thornton for Sussex County and Zach Smith for Evansville. Both of these teams, the top two teams statistically pitching-wise in the league, and I think we saw last night why, and we expect another low-scoring game again today.
Yeah, a couple of really good starts, and got some good pitchers on the mound to face off today. But yeah, last night, I mean, on full display why these teams are both able to win so many ball games, and not only their starters, but their bullpen as well. I mean, we talked so much about Phrysis Adames. What a performance he had out of the bullpen, 3 1/3, and really spotless, clean performance. He was just firing on all cylinders. Breaking ball looked phenomenal, so be a good pitch-up matchup again today.
He ended up earning the win as the Miners tied it with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning, and then Otters had multiple chances to walk things off in the bottom of the 9th, couldn't get it done. 2 runs by the Miners in the top of the 10th ended up being the win for Sussex County. They're all alone in first place, the best record in the Frontier League at 22-11. The Otters at 20-14. Miners starting lineup today under the direction of manager Chris Widger. Edwin Mateo, the switch hitter, leads things off and plays right field for the Miners. Abraham Malley is playing third today and batting second. Gavin Stupinski, the first baseman, bats third. Orhaj Anu had a great day yesterday with 3 hits in the cleanup spot. Jawan Harris, the center fielder, bats fifth. Juan Santana, second baseman, batting sixth. Bottom 3 in the lineup, Will Zimmerman, the left fielder, Kyle Richards, the catcher, and Willie Escala, the shortstop, the 9 today for the Miners. Cole Davis making the start on the mound, the righty for Sussex County. On the other side for Evansville, their starting lineup today, Noah Myers leads off and playing center field again today for the Otters. Brian Rosario bats second and plays left field. Kona Quiggle batting third, and he's back at first base for a second straight day for the Otters. Jeffrey Baez in the cleanup spot playing right field after being ejected yesterday arguing balls and strikes. Dakota Phillips batting fifth again but catching. Jomar Reyes batting sixth and playing third base. He's working on a 12-game hit streak. Bottom 3 in the lineup, Ethan Skinder batting seventh, playing second base. Aaron Beck making his second start of his professional career in DHing, and George Khalil rounding out the lineup and playing shortstop for the Otters. Look at both sides. Runs are going to be tough to come for. Who's a key guy on both sides to try to kickstart offenses and win this middle game?
Yeah, what a game from Orhaj Anu yesterday. Had 3 hits, and he gets bumped up in the lineup. They had Stupinski and Santana at the 3-4 hole, 2 guys who produce most of the RBIs for this minor team, but a 3-hit day for Anu, and he's bumped up into the 4 hole today. Looking for another big day from him if you're the Miners. And then on Evansville side, Kona Quiggle back at first base where he started the game last night, had 2 hits. He's had a hot bat, so definitely looking for some more production out of him. And then you got Aaron Beck back at the DH role for the first time. He's at the 8th spot, so George Khalil will drop down to the 9th, see if the Otters can get some hits up and down their lineup.
On the other side, the pitching matchup today, the Otters sending their ace out on the bump on this Wednesday afternoon. Tim Holdgraver makes the start for the Otters. Cole Davis, on the other hand, the guy at the back of the rotation for Sussex County, so at least the advantage at a glance would go to the Otters with Holdgrafer A win today puts him alone in first place with 6 wins, would be the most in the Frontier League. He, outside of 2 blips, has been lights out all year for the Otters.
Yeah, a guy who the Otters had high expectations for. He pitched a lot of affiliated ball last year, returned to the Otters here and just didn't look like himself on opening day. There were some questions, but those questions have long been answered. Like Griffin said, just a couple of blips here and there. Other than that, has been so consistent. 2.72 ERA. He's able to give you 6 or 7 innings each game. Looking for another big performance out of him today.
On the other side, Sussex County, their pitcher Cole Davis, righty from Milford, Delaware, a guy who hasn't pitched competitively before this year since 2018. A 4.50 ERA for Davis in 6 starts, and he's not been as sharp of late. If there is a weak spot in this very good starting rotation for Sussex County, it might be Cole Davis.
Yeah, a guy who has a really interesting baseball path. We've seen so many guys, especially pitchers, who on recent years have been on so many teams, but Cole Davis, a guy who's been out of the game for a little bit, and you know, it's not always easy to jump right back into it, especially as a starting pitcher when you're looking for some stamina out of your arm, but still finding his stuff. He's certainly capable. We'll see. Be interesting matchup today.
So we're all set for some Wednesday afternoon baseball on a sunny day at Bosse Field. Second game of 3 between 2 of the top teams in the Frontier League. We'll be right back with First Pitch on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America's freedom, those who now protect it, and pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice with the singing of our national anthem this afternoon, performed by Mike Payton.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The national anthem this afternoon here at Bosse Field, performed by Mike Payton. Mixed sun and clouds, another warm and humid day in the River City in the second game of this series. Sussex County took game 1 yesterday 5-3. Otters trying to bounce back today and even it up at 1 game apiece. Evansville has only lost 2 series at home all year. Tim Holgrafer, as we talked about in the pregame, making the start for the Otters, his 7th start of the season, 3rd year in Evansville, though last year was signed by both the Kansas City Royals and Tigers organization and made it all the way up to AAA Toledo with the Tigers. Holgraver's overall numbers, 2.72 ERA, 5 quality outings in his 5 wins, 5-2 in 7 starts. Batters are hitting .255 against them, but he just seems to always limit damage with runners on base. So solid for the Otters, and has 3 shutout starts on his tab so far this season. Dakota Phillips will be catching him today. It's the 7th time the pitcher and catcher, Holgraver and Phillips, teaming up. and they've had a lot of great success. 5-1 with a just 1.85 ERA for Holgraver when Phillips catches him. Around the rest of the diamond for the Otters, Kona Quiggle at first, Ethan Skinder at second, George Khalil at short, and Jomar Reyes at third. In the outfield, Brian Rosario in left, Noah Myers in center field, and Jeffrey Baez in right. That's the 9 for the Otters. Edwin Mateo, the leadoff batter for the Miners, stepping in, and we're ready for some afternoon baseball. Holgraver comes home, a first pitch strike to Mateo. Holgraver on the right side of the rubber. Lines and deals. Mateo takes outside 1-1. Started as a very sunny morning, increasing cloudiness this afternoon now. Here's the 1-1. Mateo chops it foul right side. 81 degrees, some humidity making it feel warmer. And it's quite windy again. 15-mile-per-hour winds blowing directly in from center field, so good luck hitting a home run. 1-2, outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Large amount of kids here today with multiple summer camps in attendance. A lot of bright-colored shirts in the crowd. 2-2. Swung on a comebacker right up the middle to Holgraver. He gloves it, runs over towards first, underhand toss to first base, 1 away. So Mateo down, Holgraver gets his first out of the game. You'll see the fastball, cutter, and slider from Holgraver. It's a 3-pitch mix. Has just 2 outings this year that he's given up more than 2 earned runs. Those were his 2 losses. Abraham Mao, the ready batter, takes the first pitch inside for a ball.
Yeah, one thing about Holgraver, you look at his stats, compared to the past, he's pitched to contact a little bit more this year. He's been somewhat of a strikeout pitcher at times in his career, but trusts his defense this year.
Pitch in for a strike to Mao, 1-1. Holgraver, just 31 strikeouts and 43 innings pitched, but just 10 walks. The 1-1 home. Mao takes inside 2-1. Holgraver at a game in New Jersey earlier this year hit 250 career professional strikeouts, but as he said, Lucas, a lot more pitching to contact this year. But still incredibly effective in his 3rd year here at Bosse Field. He comes home, a breaking ball on the inside corner for a strike, 2-2. .12:05 start time. Last weekday afternoon game of the year for the Otters. 2-2 home. Breaking ball inside and a full count. The payoff home. Swung on and hit high in the air to left field. Rosario back and under it to make the catch. Two away. Rosario just a shide from the track makes the play. He's back starting in left field today after moving over to right with Baez kicked out of the game, causing some changes. And Rosario made the error in the top of the 9th inning that allowed the tying run to come across and score. The Otters were a strike away from winning last night. Gavin Stupinski swings at the first pitch from Holgraver and lines it into left field, a base hit. Stupinski, a 2-out knock. It's the first runner of the day for either side here in the top of the first.
A good hit there by Stupinski. Struggled at the plate yesterday, hitless in 4 at-bats, reached base once on a walk. He's, like we said, a guy who a lot of the RBIs in this lineup come from, but goes down and gets a low fastball, just pokes it the other way for a little 2-out knock.
Comes up Oraj Anu with 2 outs and 1 on. Anu, the lefty batter, swinging away at the first pitch, pops it up into right. Baez a few strides back. He's under it and makes the catch. Base hit for Stupinski. That's all for Sussex County in the top of the first. We're scoreless on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Let's do a little racing. It's a Troney's Pizza Race. Got a couple gals, couple dudes. Addie, Faith, Blaze, Easton. Ready, set, go! Run, 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 run. One box already gone. Another box gone. This could be anybody's race right now. Cat gone. We're losing all kinds of stuff on the field. Troney's Pizza Race. I don't think we're going to find the super duper delivery person. But at least they're having fun out there. Let's see. I think that is Faith.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. Got a pizza race going here and a big kids' day at the ballpark. Otters bets debuting this afternoon in the bottom of the first inning against Cole Davis, the righty for Sussex County. We chatted about him in the pregame show. Interesting journey. First competitive baseball since 2018 for Davis when he last pitched at a community college in New Jersey. Native of Delaware, 6 starts on the year, 4.50 ERA. He's really struggled with his command. 20 walks in 28 innings pitched and just 14 strikeouts. Does not throw hard, and similar to Thornton yesterday, does not go deep either. His longest outing, just 5 1/3. Really the only guy in this 5-man starting rotation for Sussex County that struggled at times this year. Davis has allowed 8 earned runs in his last 10 1/3, so he's not trending well either in his last couple starts.
Yeah, we've seen some guys come back off injury throughout the season, and honestly, when you haven't pitched in organized baseball in a few years, it's somewhat of a similar concept. You gotta get comfortable on the mound again. The adrenaline rush of pitching live baseball, especially in a professional environment, is way different than any bullpen session or live batting practice can replicate, and just still trying to figure things out. It'll be interesting to watch him here today.
Noah Myers leads things off for the Otters, and Myers, the lefty, takes a first pitch strike. Kyle Richards is catching today for Sussex County, making his series debut. The 1 popped up left side. Over is the left fielder Zimmerman to make a basket catch along the fence for the first out. Wow, what a tricky play by Zimmerman, right where the fence juts out down the right field line or down the left field line, and making a catch on the dirt.
Yeah, really tough play there. He comes up onto the mounds in the bullpen and then maneuvers his way around both a wall and a bag of equipment in the Miners bullpen. He's able to make a basket catch up against the fence down there.
It was an absolute maze to find that ball, and somehow he made it. Brian Rosario stands in, shows buns, and pulls it back. The 1-0 home is outside, 2-0 to Rosario. 3-man umpiring crew today. Reed Hoover at home, Clark Morgan at third. He threw out Jeffrey Baez yesterday when Baez was arguing balls and strikes. And Brad Wilson over at first. Rosario watches a strike, 2-1. Sun is peeking out behind the clouds. Supposed to get increasingly cloudy over the course of the afternoon. 2-1 inside, and it hit Rosario. It hit him on the elbow. Just a breaking ball that caught the elbow guard of Rosario. He barely reacted, but Rosario is hit, so the Otters have their first runner. Rosario was in this exact same situation in the 9th inning yesterday. Was hit by a pitch, stole second. Line drive up the middle by Kona Quiggle, who comes to the plate here. Looked like it might score Rosario. The stop sign was put up at third base, so Rosario stayed at third. And then an inning-ending double play prevented the Otters' walk-off. Rosario takes off really early. Good throw down to second. Rosario's safe, though. Rosario got a massive jump, not waiting around. Good throw by Richards behind home plate, but the tag late by Estrada, and Rosario's got dirt all over his white jersey, but he's got his 28th stolen base of the year. (28 of 30 now, stealing bags on the year. So Rosario in scoring position as Quiggle takes a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, and we see how effective he can be there, and that's why in the 2-hole especially, if you're Brian Rosario, you get on base absolutely any way that you can. You know you can help your team out when you get on the base paths.
1-1 is low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Otters in all white unis today. Both teams mixing it up from yesterday. Otters written in blue across the chest and blue numerals, no piping. Sussex County in all grays with Miners written in gold and brown across the chest, brown lettering with gold piping. 2-1 is a breaking ball outside, 3-1 to Quiggle. Certainly with a guy with a really poor strikeout to walk ratio, 20 walks to just 14 strikeouts. Patience is your friend today for the Evansville batters. Davis kicks and throws inside to Quiggle, and that's a walk.
You mentioned the struggle in command from Cole Davis, and it's one of the reasons we're experiencing the back end of the starting rotation for the Miners. Thornton yesterday was a similar concept. You got 2 guys that don't go very deep into games. Davis hasn't gone more than 5 1/3 this year, and another guy on the mound that you just have to expect. He doesn't work all that efficiently. You're going to have a pretty heavy day out of your bullpen if you're the Miners.
So 2 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The Otters a great chance to strike first as Jeffrey Baez comes to the plate. Righty batter, first pitch to Baez, swing and a miss. Baez was thrown out in the bottom of the 5th inning yesterday, arguing balls and strikes with Reed Hoover. Finished 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. Rosario dancing over at second base. Davis gives him a look. Now comes home. It's low, 1-1 to Baez. Baez actually came up here to the press box yesterday after the game after he was ejected. Which I was a little surprised to see. He was sitting over with the pitchers on their day off for the Otters that help track and chart the current pitcher's outing. The 1-1 is high to Baez, 2-1.
That's right. We see the starting pitcher cycle in and out here. Our first time having a field player up in the press box with us.
We were going to have him on the broadcast, but he didn't look to be in the greatest of mood. We're going to bounce back today, and got a different guy behind home plate as Baez swings, pops one up on the right side in foul territory. Stupinski over and making the grab on the edge of the grass. 2 away.
Davis so far is most effective pitch has honestly just been a changeup. He keeps it pretty simple, but fastball lives around 84. You wouldn't expect a ton of velocity out of a guy who's been out of the game for a few years, but you run a couple 84 miles per hour fastballs that are placed well, and then a 77 mile per hour changeup's going to throw a hitter off. I mean, it's effective. You just got to be really precise about how you're doing it.
2 on and 2 out, and it brings up the lefty batter Dakota Phillips. Pitch home. Phillips checks his swing, a pitch outside. He held up. Rosario's at second, Quiggle at first, a hit batter and a walk here in the bottom of the first. We're scoreless this Wednesday afternoon baseball. 1-0. Swung on and popped up by Phillips into center field. Drifting over to the left is Harris, way over to the left. My goodness, and finally making the catch. That ball caught a gust from center and blew from center field nearly all the way into left field, but Harris tracked it well, the 3rd out of the inning. We're scoreless through 1 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
All right.
second inning for the Sussex County Miners.
No score through one in between Sussex County and Evansville on a Wednesday afternoon from Bosse Field. Miners shocking the Otters last night with a 5-3 comeback victory, and now a very quick turnaround. Guys got maybe 10 hours away from the ballpark and right back here for this early afternoon start. Juwan Harris, center fielder, leads things off for the Miners in the top of the second. Holgraver on the right side of the rubber comes home. First pitch strike to Harris. Harris was 1 for 5 yesterday with a double in the fourth and came around to score. Luck up for Holgraver. Sets at the belt, kicks and throws. Pitch inside 1-1. Wynn gets Holgraver to win number 7, which would put him alone atop the Frontier League for most wins in the league. Currently in a tie with Lance Lusk of New Jersey. As the breaking ball is sliced right to Ethan Skinner, the second baseman, puts up the glove and makes the catch. 1 away. So Harris lines out for the first out of the inning, and it brings up Juan Santana. Holgraver tied with Lance Lusk of New Jersey right now with 5 wins, and also Kobe Schlottman of Schaumburg, who the Otters fell victim to just last weekend. Juan Santana, righty batter, takes the first pitch low. So win number 6 is what Holgraver's going for here today to take the lead in the Frontier League. Holgraver's white jersey blustering in the wind as he comes home. Slider on the outside corner, a cutter make it on the outside corner, 1-1. Kick and a throw and another strike, catching the outside corner, 1-2 to Santana. Holgraver last year signed on June 12th by the Kansas City Royals, so longer stay so far here in Evansville this season. 1-2 home is chopped foul. Was released in July by the Royals, picked up 3 days later by the Tigers. 4 starts last year and started his professional career with the Otters. Was excellent back in 2021, earned 10 wins. Well on pace to beat that this year. The 1-2 is a flare, popped into center field, and it's going to fall for a base hit. Off the inside of the bat is Santana. And Khalil, the shortstop, couldn't get back in time. It was way too far in for Myers to get there. So a bloop base hit for Santana, the second hit of the game for Sussex.
Yeah, another ball that's not hit all that hard, and Holgraver, you pitch to contact, and you're going to give up hits like that batter doesn't necessarily get all of, but sometimes things are just going to fall their way.
Pitch home to Will Zimmerman, the righty batter, in for a strike, 0-1. Now the Miners wouldn't have gotten a win yesterday if not for Will Zimmerman. He was down to his last strike multiple times with 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the 9th inning. And the Miners trailing by 1, found a way to get a base hit and keep the game going for Sussex County. The 0-1 is a check swing off the inside of the bat, trickling down the first base line, picked up by Holgraver. He bobbles it, now throws to first, and still gets Zimmerman just in time. It wasn't meant to be a bump by Zimmerman, but it ended up being a really great, just slow roller down the line. Holgraver tried to pick it up and dropped it, but was able to recover and throw to first just in time to beat Zimmerman.
Yeah, effective play at times. I mean, you force your pitcher to come all the way down near the line, and see Holgraver bobble it once in his bare hand and make it a bang-bang play. Zimmerman almost gets a hit out of it.
Now Kyle Richards, catcher, swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. Richards making his series debut after not playing yesterday. First-year rookie. Doesn't have a hit yet. More kids are starting to file into Bosse Field. We have a late arriving crowd outside as Richards swings and misses, 0-2. I guess the summer camp bus was running a little late.
Yeah, we've got a lot of kids here, and they're making quite a bit of noise here in the ballpark. We got a great atmosphere today.
I get excited at anything. A lazy fly out to the outfield is cause for cheers. The 0-2 inside, 1-2. I always like all the different colored shirts. They're not actually as well coordinated as maybe I expected, but the summer camps, and they all come in one color of shirt. Comes a rainbow of colors in the stands. Mulgraver peeks back at second, comes home. A breaking ball outside, 2-2. Just the fourth start today here for the catcher, Kyle Richards, 0 for 9. 2-2 count with a runner at second and 2 outs in the top of the second. No score. Mulgraver winds and deals. Outside corner, strike 3 call. Mulgraver painting the plate with a beautiful breaking ball to leave Richards looking. Works around a bloop base hit. No score. Let's move to the bottom of the second on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
We have our Ashley Furniture Homestar Best Seat in the House winners already enjoying that fantastic view with their feet picked up. And Best Seats in the House also means you have the best view on the Heritage Video Board. Follow along with all of our video board action this afternoon. And be sure to visit heritagefederal.org for all of your banking needs. Now let's go to a crowd cam. We have a great day camp day and Senior Connection Wednesday crowd here at the ballpark. If our Odeon camera goes to you, smile, wave, dance, make some noise, and let us know you're having a great time here at the ballpark. Great to have all of our fans here, some of those fans in particular. And give a big shout out to the Boys and Girls Club there at left field, group of 50. Great to have the Boys and Girls Club with us here at Bosse Field. Batting 6, the third baseman, number 28, Yomar Reyes.
Yomar Reyes comes to the plate in the bottom of the second inning with nobody on and nobody out to face Willie Escala, the shortstop, or not to face, he's the batter. To face Cole Davis, the ready pitcher, I should say. I feel I didn't sleep here, but I feel like I slept at the ballpark with the quick turnaround from the late night extra inning game to the early afternoon start time. Reyes pops up a pitch behind home plate. Get out of play and bounce off the roof. So it's 0-2 quickly to Yomar Reyes here in the bottom of the second. There's no score between Sussex County and Evansville. Summer camp day, kids continuing to file in here to Bosse Field. Overcast skies in the low 80s. The 0-2 home is swung on and softly chopped left side. Good glove by the third baseman. Mal throw to first in time to beat Reyes by 2 strides, 1 away.
Saw Mao really good with his glove yesterday. Works his way across the left side of his body and makes a pretty tough throw on the run there.
1 away, and it brings up Ethan Skinder, the second baseman. No score here in the bottom of the second inning. Skinder has had a good last week. 5-game hit streak now, at a base hit and was hit as well yesterday. Trying to find his bat back again after a little slump for a week or two. Takes the first pitch low from Davis. 1-0 home. The inside corner for a strike, 1-1. So Davis, as expected, he's a older pitcher, first time pitching competitively since 2018 when he was at Mercer County College, Community College in New Jersey. So the 1-1 is low, 2-1. It's not a whole lot to his pitches, but Otters are still trying to figure him out early.
Yeah, a two-pitch pitcher from what we've seen so far at least, just fastball changeup, but if you can locate them well, I mean, the changeup's somewhat of a lost art.
And the changeup is lost by Davis, and it hits Skinner on the back. Well, that pitch was not a lost start. It was just completely lost out of the hand of Davis, who's upset with himself. And he's hit his second batter already of the game. Skinner goes down to first.
And apart from a couple of pitches, he's done so well at keeping the ball down. He'll occasionally lift a fastball up, but say a good 2/3 to 75% of his pitches he tries to keep around the knees of the batters, and in his case, that's how you're going to be effective.
Otters have been hit now 52 times already this season. Beck, swinging at the first pitch, lines it into right center of base 6. Skinner goes to third, and Aaron Beck has his second professional hit of his career. And it's the first hit of the game for the Otters.
Yeah, and right back to our point, you see it right there. Davis opts to go up in the zone with a fastball. Looked like he was just trying to put it up and away, and he hangs it over the plate just a little too much. And at 84 miles an hour, if you do that, it's more so just a batting practice type look. So gotta locate his pitches and keep the ball down when he needs to.
Brings up George Khalil with now runners on the corners and 1 out. Another great chance here in the second for the Otters to strike first. Khalil coming off a great day yesterday. Davis comes home. Khalil shows bunt and lays one right back to the pitcher. Picked up by Davis. Looks back the runner at third and throws to first for the second out. A suicide squeeze that did not go right for the Otters.
Yeah, it's interesting. Khalil, usually a guy who's so good at bunting, and just kind of freeze your runner there because you put it right back at the pitcher. You don't really give him an option to go.
Beck does advance to second, but now you give up that second out with the runner still at third. Back to the top of the order and Noah Myers. Pitch comes home to Myers is high, 1-0. Skinner at third, Beck at second. Myers, who had a big go-ahead 2 RBI, 2-out double yesterday for the Otters. Looked like it was going to be the game-winning hit until the Miners tied the game in the ninth. Myers takes slow 2-0. Skinner at third, Beck at second. The 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Skinner at third, Beck at second. Beck in his just second start of his professional career with the first hit of the game for Evansville. Davis at the belt, kicks and throws. It's outside for ball 4. Myers works a walk. 4-pitch walk from Davis to Myers, and the bases are loaded. The Otters had 2 on in the first. Now the bases juiced in the bottom of the second. Evansville a chance to take an early lead. Rosario, the lefty batter, was hit back in the first. Davis winds and throws. Rosario swings at the first pitch. Line drive bouncing into left field, a base hit. Beck hustling around from second. He will slide in safely. It's 2-0 Evansville. Rosario, a horrible day yesterday for a variety of reasons, with the big first hit of today for the Otters, a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit, scoring Skinner and Beck.
Yeah, and Davis has just got to limit those walks, and his lack of command at times is what can hurt him, and Brian Rosario just goes inside out on a fastball there, keeps his hands inside of the ball and pokes it the other way.
Kona Quiggle stands in and takes a first pitch strike. Myers at second, Rosario at first. 2 outs in the inning. 2 across for the Otters. The 0-1 outside 1-1. Good early bounce back for the Otters after the disappointing and somewhat shocking loss last night. The Otters just kind of looked shell-shocked by the time they got to the bottom of the 10th inning and had watched a game seemingly in their hands fall away. Pitch misses outside to Quiggle. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Davis winds and delivers. Swung on and hit down the right field line by Quiggle. Bouncing in front of Mateo. Myers hustling around from second will score. And it's 3-0 Evansville. The ball gets away from the catcher Richards, and Rosario coming all the way around to score. It's 4-0. Quiggle the base hit into right field. Scores Myers. Rosario went all the way to third, and an unnecessary throw in to Richards. Couldn't keep it in front of him, rolled to the backstop, and Rosario scoring from third, and all of a sudden 4 runs put up in the inning by Evansville.
And a really good hit by Kona Quiggle, but Cole Davis has got to back up home plate there, even if he doesn't expect that throw to be made, and if he does, it limits that run.
Jeffrey Baez swings at the first pitch and chops it foul. Big first inning here for big second inning here for the Otters. 4 runs, tying the amount of runs they scored all of yesterday. Back-to-back 2-out base hits by Rosario and Quiggle. Quiggle over at second, and Cook watching him, and now Davis, watching him now steps off. A 1 to Baez is inside, 1-1.
And going back to that play, Davis just not backing up home plate allows an extra run in. It's a little thing, but we saw yesterday the little things can add up, and in a series where you don't expect a lot of runs, it's what hurt the Otters yesterday, but a big 4th run coming across for the Otters here today.
1-1 home. Baez takes a strike. Inning started with Skinder being hit. Beck got a base hit. Myers walked. Back-to-back hits now by Rosario and Quiggle. 4 runs coming across. 1-2. Baez swings and pops it up into right. Racing towards the line is Mateo, and foul territory makes the catch in the Otters bullpen. Evansville, though, scores 4 runs in the bottom of the second. Beck, Rosario, Quiggle, all hits. The Otters strike first on this Wednesday afternoon from Bosse Field.
Say hello to more of our groups here. American Senior Communities in sections 1, 2, 3, 4. Great to have American Senior Communities, and great to have Liam in section 16 celebrating a birthday. the Weston party. Happy birthday and enjoy your day here at Bosse Field. The front extra patio deck has our friends from Papa John's in decks 1, 2, and 3. Papa John's sounds really good right about now. Great to have them with us in the front extra patio deck. Along with our EVSC summer school students. EVSC summer school students, make some noise. Let me hear you.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Budweiser. Tim Mulgraver back on the bump for the top of the third inning as his Otters have mounted 4 runs in the bottom of the second to take a 4-0 lead over Sussex County. Willie Escala leads things off in the top of the third for the Miners and takes the first pitch inside for a ball. The early offense coming through for the Otters. The 1-0. Escala takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Well, the 2 out base hits kind of seem like a theme right now for the Otters. Gateway series, which the Otters won 2-3 over the Grizzlies, were the top team in the league. The 1-1 Escala chops foul. The Otters did a lot of their damage in that series with 2 outs, including that first game on Friday night when the Otters won 5-1. All 5 runs were scored with 2 outs. All 4 in the second scoring with 2 outs. 1-2. Swung on and chopped right side. Coming in is Skinder, the second baseman. Gloves throws to first in time. 1 away.
Yeah, and the Otters, a team we've talked about in our previous broadcast, they don't often come from behind in games, but they are really relentless in that they value every at-bat, and when so much of your production is coming with 2 outs, that's the fruits of that habit. I mean, you got a lot of guys who are really patient at the plate. They make you pitch to them, and an inning's never over until you get that last strike against an Otter.
Back to the top of the order, and Edwin Mateo, who takes the first pitch struck. Lefty batter Mateo, the righty Holdgrafer comes home, and a pitch outside, 2-0 to Mateo. Otters have been excellent at striking first this season as well. Evansville has scored first in now 25 of 35 games this season. 25 of 35 games the Otters have scored first. They've done so here today with a 4-run second. 2-1 home to Mateo, swing and a miss, 2-2. Nasty pitch from Timmy.
Yeah, a pair of cutters there, and it's a really effective pitch because the change in velocity is not all that different from your slider, just a little bit different of a movement, and it's fooled some hitters here so far.
2-2 home, swing and a miss by Mateo. Second strikeout for Holdgrafer, 2 away in the third.
And that's what can make it so effective. You see back-to-back cutters from Holdgrafer, and then he goes to the slider for the strikeout pitch in almost no change in velocity. And if you're a hitter trying to pick that up out of his hands, I mean, you can have your timing down, but when you have 2 pitches with almost the same speed and just a completely different spin and rotation, it's so effective.
Abraham Mao, ready batter, stands in, takes the first pitch low. 2 outs, nobody on here in the top of the third, 4-0 Evansville. 4-run second for the Otters on 3 hits, a walk, and a hit batter. 1-0, in for a strike to Mao, 1-1. Sun peeking back out onto the field. 1-1 home is a check swing foul. Well, sun splash diamond with no shadows at all on the field. Just past noon here at Bosse Field. Mostly been in under overcast skies the first 45 minutes or so of action. 1-2 home. Swing and a miss. Mao strikes out, and Holgraver works a 1-2-3 third inning. 4-0, the Otters lead on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Otters are back tomorrow night, 6:35. It's a Thirsty Thursday in Margaritaville night with a Hawaiian leg giveaway for the first 250 people through the gates. Tickets are still available at EvansvilleOtters.com or by calling 812-435-8666 after tomorrow. Otters will be in beautiful Florence, Kentucky over the weekend, but back right here next week for a midweek series with the Gateway Grizzlies. Long time no see with them. Once again, it's a Senior Connection Wednesday, welcoming all of our seniors 55 and older here to the ballpark. If you're a proud senior, make some noise. Let me hear you. Plenty of seniors are joining us Senior Connection Wednesday with us here at the ballpark. It's great to have you with us. Also great to have the YMCA and the YMCA Community Outreach Groups with us. And SWRCA here as well. Thanks for taking in day baseball. America's third oldest continues. Professional ballpark still in use. That being Bosse Field right here in Evansville, Indiana.
Back at Bosse Field for the bottom of the third inning, a 4-0 lead for the Otters. Frontier League standings continuing to develop as we're a little past third of the season. Sussex County, the best record in the league at 22-11, a half game up against New Jersey. And the Otters a game and a half back of Schaumburg in third place right now in the Frontier League. Both of these teams hoping to play deep into September in the playoffs.
Yeah, Sussex County, long road trip ahead of them. You mentioned yesterday was the start of a 9-game road trip, and New Jersey putting some pressure on them to perform on the roads. How tough have they been recently?
They've been terrific. Dakota Phillips swings at the first pitch, drives it to right, playable for Mateo. A few steps from the track, wind blows it back in a little. He makes the catch for the first out of the bottom of the third. One pitch, one out for Cole Davis. Otters leading 4-0, a 4-run bottom of the second off Davis, giving the Otters an early lead as they try to equal up this series at 1 game apiece and set us up for a rubber match tomorrow evening. Jomar Reyes, righty batter, takes the first pitch outside. You like that Reyes, almost every at-bat, he takes all the way on the first pitch.
Yeah, he's a guy who he likes to see a pitch. He's been really consistent at the plate this year.
1-0 is inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
And we've seen him simplify his swing a lot. He's a guy who had a lot of power in affiliated ball and really hitting more for average here for the Otters. And he almost analyzes that first pitch and develops his approach based on that.
2-0 by Reyes, pops sky high in the air on the edge of the infield behind second base. The shortstop Escala makes the snag. 2 down. Reyes hoping for his 13th straight game with a hit, but he started 0 for 2 today. First 2 quickly down here for Davis in the third, and it brings up Ethan Skinner, the second baseman. 2 away, nobody on. Sun peeking in and out behind the clouds. Blustery warm day with wind blowing directly in from center field. Skinner swings to the first pitch, lines it to right, racing in Mateo, and he makes a running grab for the third out of the inning. You could have gone to the bathroom and missed the whole bottom of the third inning. The Otters go down rapidly. It's 4-0 Evansville on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. It's a fine day for some kids to take in some baseball here at Bosse Field, and the Otters off to a great start. They lead 4-0 through 3 innings, a 4-run second inning, and Tim Holgraver looking like Tim Holgraver. Smooth first 3 innings, held Sussex County to just 2 hits, no walks. Looking for his 6th win of the season to put him atop the Frontier League. Gavin Stupinski, lefty batter, leads things off, takes the first pitch strike. Parker Brahms, one of the Otter starters, he's up here in the press box helping sharp pitches. It's the 0-1 home. Stupinski swings and lines it foul right side into the bleachers. 0-2. Someone's gonna have to come fill in for you again once you leave in August. So we may as well give some of the pitchers a try. So I asked him, give me a scouting report on Tim Holgraver. Here's the 0-2 home from Tim. It's fouled away left side. Thought he gave us a pretty good scouting report.
Yeah, lots of cutters, and I'd be curious to sit down with Tim, talk to him about how his pitch selection has changed since last year and beyond in his career when he used to be a lot more of a strikeout pitcher. But yeah, throws that cutter about 2/3 of the time this year.
0-2 swing and a miss by Stupinski. That's 3 straight strikeouts by Holgraver.
Yeah, and there was the cutter right there. Fastball lives around 93 miles an hour, and then just give a little bit different of a look to a hitter and shows us right there why it can be so effective.
Really finding his groove the second time through the lineup. He's struck out the first 3 in this top of the lineup for the Miners. Orhaj Anu, the lefty DH, checks his swing on a ball. It bounces up and is foul. It hit behind home plate. So 0-1. You're okay if Parker takes your spot, though, maybe for a game or two? I don't know. He did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I'll go be Evan the Otter.
Me and Parker have that California connection, too. I think we'd have good chemistry. We'll have to see. I think we'll probably need Andy McCauley's permission if we want to bring any players on the broadcast. Anu takes inside 1-1.
Have we seen Evan today, by the way? I saw Eva.
I've seen Evan.
Okay. He's got a lot of kids to entertain.
It's a busy day for Evan the Otter. Certainly one of the busier days of the year. The 1-1 popped up left side. Rosario giving it a look, but it'll get into the seats 1-2. Eva came back out of hibernation for this homestand. She's a little bit older than Evan, and she needs her rest, so she goes back and hibernates for one homestand and then comes out the next homestand.
I think the same thing was true with FJ Wright at the beginning of the season. I wonder where he was.
He's an older gentleman. Some games are past his bedtime. The 1-2 fouled away, and Anu stays alive. What a win by FJ Wrights, though. Last night in the Legends of Bosse Field race. He'll go for 2 in a row again tonight. He won in a dead sprint and then moonwalked off the field to celebrate.
That's right. It was probably one of our best races for a few reasons. All three legends on a dead sprint.
The 1-2 home. Anu takes slow, 2-2.
And if I'm not mistaken, was last night Wrights had a decent lead, and then he high-fived some players on his way by, which made it a close race, and then he finished it off, came from behind again.
Impressive start speed and closing speed by FJ Wrights last night. The rest he took early in the season paying off. The 2-2 by Anu, grounded right side, gloved by Phillips. He trips and underhand toss to Holgraver, who steps on the bag for the second out. Quiggle held the glove, held the ball well, and then just kind of stumbled. So he came fully back up to his feet, but able to get the ball out to Holgraver for the second out.
Yeah, good job of staying with it from Kona Quiggle, and only his second appearance this year at first base. Got what it was like to feel the ball on some dirt maybe, loses his footing a little bit. Hangs in there though.
Juwan Harris comes to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. Here in the top of the 4th, 4-0 Otters. Holgraver comes home. Harris swings the first pitch and grounds it foul. Holgraver is in a groove. He has retired 7 in a row. Just 2 hits across. He's struck out 4 and no walks. Far right side of the rubber, rocks back and fires away. A changeup in for a strike. 0-2.
Yeah, he's been no messing around today. I mean, most of these pitches are in the zone. He's just throwing a lot of strikes, and when you pitch to contact as much as he has lately, it allows you to work really efficiently, sitting at just 52 pitches right now.
The 0-2 home. Swing and a miss by Harris. Tim Holgraver, 5 strikeouts. He's retired 8 minors in a row. 4 shutout innings for the righty from San Diego. He's on a roll. And his Otters lead 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
It's time to show us your best smiles for the Paramount Dental Smile Cam of the 300,000 members trust Paramount Dental. Based right here in the Hoosier state of Indiana, Paramount Dental has been ensuring smiles for more than 37 years. Keep smiling with Paramount Dental. Segue for you, capturing the smiles our ODN crew. You can also check out Otters Action on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and follow along all the way to the championship as Otters.com. For links to watch and subscribe today from the Frontier League and Flow Sports content, Ian, John L. Smith, and Mr. Rust. Tremendous crowd here at the Daunhauer. Great to have all of you with us. Leading off for the Evansville Otters, designated hitter, number 39, Aaron Beck.
Bottom of the 4th inning from Bosse Field. A 4-0 lead for Evansville over Sussex County. Aaron Beck coming to the plate here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tim Holgraver's been excellent for the Otters on the mound in a big 2nd inning. Evansville 4-0 lead. Certainly the recipe for success this year for the Otters is something just like this as Aaron Beck takes a first pitch low for a ball. Actually, it went around. Check swing couldn't hold up. So 0-1. Davis winds and throws. He pulled it away, 1-1.
And that really has been the recipe for success. You know, you get on the board early, and then from there, maybe you add an insurance run or 2 later in the game, but it's just been a lot of getting on the board in the 1st or 2nd inning, and then you trust your pitching staff the whole way through.
1-1. Beck grounds foul right side. Oh, did Reyes snagged it? What a play in the dugout by Jomar Reyes. The athletic trainers were about to be taken out by a bouncing ball, and Reyes one-hand snared it off a hop out of the air to save the athletic trainers from having to treat each other as Beck fouls it straight back, 1-2.
You play at the hot corner your whole career, your reflexes tend to trend upward.
Again, a big thanks from Dr. Mandy and the rest of her team standing next to Reyes in the dugout. 1-2 coming to Beck. Davis winds and throws. Beck again fouls it away. Otters that's scoring first. It's been a big recipe. 18 of their 20 wins coming when the Otters score first. They've scored 15 times in the 1st inning this year. So that's in almost half their games. Evansville scored in the 1st inning. They were red hot at doing that early in the season, have cooled off. But it's 4 in the 2nd today. The 1-2 by Beck is hit hard. Deep into right. Back is Mateo. It's off the base of the wall. Beck hustling into 2nd safely with his first career double. A 2-hit day for the hometown kid. Base hit in the 2nd. Leadoff double in the 4th.
Yeah, and his hits before that one had come on very high pitches. This one over the heart of the plate, something that I think is so impressive from Aaron Beck. He'll always show off his ability to keep his hands above the ball. He's got a really level swing for a guy with a really big frame, and showing us some power right there.
Brings up George Khalil with Beck at second. Ready, Khalil takes a first pitch for a ball. Beck injured his ankle a couple days before the season in practice, had to be out for a full month rehabbing a right ankle. The 1-0 home is inside 2-0. And the Otters had seen some great production in the outfield. There really wasn't room for Beck in the outfield, and there was some questions on whether there would be space, unfortunately, for him on this team. But Beck is proving right now to the Otters coaches that he is too good offensively, hitting-wise, and has been excellent at first as well to not leave on this baseball team, and obviously has plenty of adoring fans in the crowd as a hometown kid. Khalil took inside 3-0. Home. Khalil takes a strike, 3-1.
Yeah, and independent baseball, if you're new to it, can be somewhat of a revolving door. We've seen guys on so many ball clubs this year just play a handful of games and they get moved on to somewhere else, or that was their only opportunity.
3-1 is shot foul off the foot of Khalil, a full count.
And Beck knows, you're a hometown kid, but you got to prove yourself just like everyone else, and he's done that so far, both, like you said, with his glove at first base, proving to adapt well to that position, and certainly with the bat as well.
2 at day today. He's 3 for 8 now on the year and making a second start of the season. He's at second with nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th. Some action in the Miners' pen as the payoff pitch comes. Swing and a miss by Khalil. Fooled by the breaking ball, 1 away. Tyler Lunaki, righty, starting to warm in the Miners' bullpen. Davis does get the first out, though, here of the 4th, trying to keep it a 4-run ball game. Comes home to Myers. First pitch is outside. 56 pitches for Davis here in the 4th, but certainly that command has been an issue again today with 2 walks and 2 hit batters. Did not make things easier in the 4th inning as the Otters mounted 3 hits and ended up with 4 runs. 1-0 is high, 2-0.
Yeah, and the Miners, 13th in the league in runs scored coming into this game, just had 146, before last night. So, expecting to put 5 runs on the board is not always the easiest thing for them to do.
Myers takes outside, and he's ahead 3 balls and no strikes. Kick and a throw. Strike on the outside corner on a changeup to Myers, 3-1. Davis peeks back at second and delivers home. Myers takes a strike on the inside corner. That's a full count to the Canadian. 4 runs on 4 hits, no errors for the Otters. No runs on 2 hits, 1 error for Sussex County. Wednesday afternoon baseball from the River City. Another payoff home. Swung on and grounded right of the first base bag and foul. Another payoff home. It's chopped right side. Not an easy play. Way over to the right as Santana on the edge of the grass throws to first in time to beat Myers. 2 away. Brings up Rosario. Beck advances to third. Rosario has reached both times today, was hit in the first, and then a big 2 RBI, 2-out hit in the second inning. Rosie has a stolen base as well, his 28th of the season. Best in the Frontier League. It's Will Zimmerman actually on the other side. He is second right now in the Frontier League behind Rosario, who takes the first pitch strike. Zimmerman with 22 stolen bases. He's the only other guy over 20. Rosario has slowed down his pace the last couple weeks. So Zimmerman is on his tail now, swinging a miss, 0-2. But Rosario's still well on pace to smash the Otters' single-season record of 50. Nowhere near halfway through the season yet, and Rosario all the way already at 28 bags. Oh-2 coming home to the lefty. Pitch is popped up foul, out of play. Another 0-2 on the inside corner, strike 3 called. Rosario left looking. The Otters strand 1. They lead 4-0 through 4 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Old National Bank, your bank for Evansville, your bank for life. Evansville leads 4-0 over Sussex County as we move to the top of the 5th inning. Tim Holgrafer looking to continue to deal for the Otters, facing Juan Santana. Santana takes the first pitch outside from Holgrafer. 1-0. Santana takes on the inside corner, 1-1. Holgrafer trying to retire his 9th batter in a row. Santana was the last Miner to reach back in the 2nd on a base hit. 1-1 home. Outside, 2-1.
Yeah, and this is the most dominant of a performance we've seen out of Holgrafer thus far since Otters were at Joliet. He went 8 innings deep in that game, allowed just 3 hits in that performance.
That was one of the most dominant performances by any Otter pitcher this year, I'd say, outside of John Vargas last weekend against Gateway. That's about as good as it gets as Santana fouls one away, 2-2. Gave up 2 runs, allowed 7 hits in 6 innings pitched against Windy City last Thursday in a win. Struggled in his last outing at home here against Schaumburg. 2-2. He is low and a full count. Now this is certainly a Holdgrafer at his best, and that's the expectation here at Bosse Field. 3 years of excellence is you just expect him to be Tim, and that's poised, confident, and rather dominant. Payoff to Santana, sliced up the middle, skids off the mound and into center field, a base hit. Santana with his second hit of the day. There's the 3rd hit for the Miners. A leadoff batter aboard in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, and Santana, another one of the guys who a lot of the runs batted in come from in this lineup. He got dropped down in the order a bit, was batting 4th yesterday in the 6th hole today, and good performance so far at the plate.
Brings up Will Zimmerman. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up in right center. Quiggle and Baez is over, and Quiggle will make the catch in shallow right center for the first out.
Catcher, 29, Kyle Richards.
One away. Santana stays at first, and Kyle Richards, the catcher, comes to the plate. 61 pitches for Holdgrafer here in the top of the 5th inning. Otters got 7 innings last night from Zach Smith, who was excellent. Was in line for the win, but the Otters couldn't hold the lead in the 9th. Richards is 0 for 10 on the season, 0 for 1 today. Swings at the first pitch he sees and pops it up into right center. Baez is over this time and makes the grab. 2 away. Back-to-back outs on 2 pitches for Holdgrafer. Otters trying to take down the top team in the Frontier League entering the day, 22-11 by half a game over the Jackals. Sussex County, the best record in the league. Miners have won 6 of their last 7. They're 8-1 in 3-game series this year. Almost impossible to beat in series with how consistent and dominant their pitching's been. Runner at first and 2 outs. Willie Escala ready batter. Throw home. Escala takes the first pitch strike. New manager this year as well for Sussex County, Chris Widger. Miners trying to make the postseason for the first time in their 3rd year in the Frontier League. 1. Escala takes outside 1-1. Miners were founded in 2015 in the Can-Am League. That merged with the Frontier League in 2020, COVID year, and then Miners started playing the Frontier League in 2021. Had a good season last year, 54-41, but missed by just 2 games making it into the playoffs. 1-1, swung on and chopped up the middle. Over to the right is Khalil. He'll throw across to first in time to get Escala. Tim Holdgrafer, 5 shutout innings, and the Otters lead 4-0. So we go to the bottom of the 5th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
As the center point of the game, and your friends at Center Point Energy encourage you to conserve energy and to save money at home.
Welcome back to Bosse Field for the bottom of the 5th inning. A 4-0 lead for the Otters over the Miners. A 4-run second inning, all the scoring today. And after 4 innings, the day done for Cole Davis. He struggled with his command at times, doesn't go deep anyways. And so the Miners will turn to Tyler Lunacki, who they just acquired from Trois-Rivières at the beginning of this week. He's making his first appearance of the season for Sussex County. Righty to face the lefty Kona Quiggle to start off his minor career. The first pitch is high for a ball to Quiggle. Kick and a throw, and Quiggle takes low 2-0. Lunacki was acquired in a trade just yesterday with Trois-Rivières. He's making his second trip here to Bosse with the 2-0 at the knees for a strike, 2-1. Lunacki pitching with the Eagles earlier this year when they made the trip here to Evansville in May. Bleach blonde hair tumbling out of the black cap. Fires away, and it's outside, 3-1 to Quiggle.
Yeah, and he's a guy who has experience with Sussex County before. He's had 3 years with them, just 2 of them in the Frontier League. He actually pitched with Sussex County during a competition they played in when things were opening up after COVID.
Quiggle swings and pops one up into center field. Over is Harris. Center fielder makes the catch, 1 away.
He's worked out of the bullpen pretty much his whole career, pitched collegiately at both Division I Wright State and then D2 Brevard College for a year. Griffin, do you know the mascot of Brevard College in Division II?
I don't know where it is. I have no idea where it is. Do you know where it is? Jeffrey Baez, ready batter, takes the first pitch high.
I think it's in North Carolina, and if I'm not mistaken, I think their mascot's the Tornadoes. I will double check that.
There aren't many tornadoes in North Carolina, though. That would be a strange choice. Don't seem to match to me. The 1-0 by Baez fouled straight back. Nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the 5th, 4-0. Otters lead the Miners. 1-1 to Baez. Popped up right side and out of play. Lucas got it right. Wow. In North Carolina and the Tornadoes. Where in North Carolina? One-two to Baez. Popped up into right center. Over is Harris, and it will be Mateo to make the catch and right. 2 away, back-to-back pop-ups. And Lunacki, first 2 outs here in his start of his outing in the 5th.
The catcher, number 7, Dakota Phillips.
Brings up Dakota Phillips with 2 outs and nobody on. Phillips 0 for 2 today.
Brevard, North Carolina is over by Tennessee, but I still don't think there's any tornadoes there.
No. Well, sometimes you just throw a mascot on a team, have some fun. Phillips takes the first pitch outside for a ball, 1-0. I don't think there's any Miners left in Sussex County, New Jersey.
That's probably true as well.
Maybe back in the day. 1-0, popped up by Phillips into center field. Out is the shortstop, Escala. In is Harris. Will be Escala to make the catch in shallow center. The Otters 3 pop-outs in the 5th go down in order. 4-0, Evansville leads on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Time now for the Jersey Mike's Bill on the side. We've got contestants on both sides. Over here on the first base side, it's Andrew. Over on the third base side, it's Alyssa. 10 turns around the dizzy back. Then finish off and call it off with the available auto bell. Prize, guys, if you're ready to go. Go! start backwards. This could be interesting here in a second. He's building this up. Both of them is building tonight. But who's going to be the winner? It's Alyssa on the third base side, just by hair. Give him a blessing. And the was that your sister? His sister just beat Big Brother. All right. Yellow at the top of stuff is a real red wine vinegar made from red grapes. And no food coloring. The only way to get it is at Jersey Mike's because authentic ingredients make a simple bow. 939 Road in Evansville.
Make sure you stop by the Otters Den team store. Say hello to my good friend Ron Trail and Company. You're now on all the latest apparel and souvenirs. To look up with a t-shirt or that, stop on by the Otters Den team store. Couple of Major League Baseball games in progress. The action. The Rays on
A 4-0 lead for the Evansville Otters over the Sussex County Miners in 5 complete innings here from Bosse Field. A 4-run second. That's all the scoring today. Could be enough, though, for a victory for the Otters. And this matchup between the top 2 pitching staffs in the league. Sussex County had a wild 5-3 comeback victory yesterday in 10 innings. Quick turnaround today. And Tim Holgraver has been dominant on the mound for the Otters, and the bats coming through in the second inning for Evansville. Holgraver back out to work the 6th inning. He's been efficient and effective. Just 65 pitches as he works here into the 6th. Threw 8 shutout against Joliet in a win a few weeks ago. Could be on pace to do the same again today. Going for win number 6 on the season for Holgraver to take the lead in the Frontier League with most wins. Edwin Mateo, leadoff batter, leads things off for Sussex County in the top of the 6th. Mateo's 0 for 2 today. Holgraver winds and throws. Mateo swings at the first pitch, lines it to center, right at Myers. Few steps back, reaches up the glove. 1 out. Miners with a lot of early swings lately on Holgraver, who loves to pitch to contact. Does have 5 strikeouts as well. He's been in a rhythm, just 1 base runner since the 2nd inning for Holgraver.
Yeah, and over 2/3 of his pitches have been in the strike zone, and like you said, just forcing the Miners hitters to go up there swinging, and he's gotten not the best contact off their bats.
Abraham Mao, ready batter, takes the first pitch inside for a ball. Now 0 for 2 today. He's 0 for 7 on the series. Him and the starter. So comes the 1-0. Strike at the letters 1-1 from the same city in Delaware, Milford, Delaware. That's almost impossible. You find so few people from Delaware anywhere. Quite find 2 people from Delaware on the same team. 1-1. Swung on up the middle. Oh, it hits the side of the foot of Holgraver. Skids to the left of the mound. Picked back up by Holgraver. Throws to first for the 2nd out. Tim's doing it all on the mound. A softly lined ball off his foot. Holgraver doesn't even flinch.
And what a tough play. I mean, we see so often a ball will hit off some part of the body of a pitcher, and it's oftentimes hard just to find that ball, especially when you're coming off the mound. But Tim wheels his body around, works towards third base, and just picks it up with his bare hand. That's a really tough play to make coming off the mound.
He's just so steady, so calm on the mound. Whatever happens, hard to see him frazzled. Even when things are going badly, you don't see him frazzled. He's just got one mode and stays in it all game. Gavin Stupinski, the batter, took a first pitch strike. 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Holgraver played collegiately in Southern California. Excellent preps player at San Diego growing up. San Diego Section High School Baseball Player of the Year in 2015, named by the San Diego Union Tribune. Stupinski swings and misses 1-2. Started his career at Division I St. Mary's up in the Bay Area, then transferred to D2 Cal Poly Pomona. It was excellent. And 21 starts over 2 seasons with Pomona. 1-2, swing and a miss by Stupinski. A cutter inside, gets Stupinski. It's 6 shutout for Tim Holgraver. He's cruising, and the Otters lead 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Time for the dance cam, brought to you by Drake's. We need everybody to get up and dance because Drake's is our go-to for 24 beers on tap, big burgers, and the freshest sushi in all of Evansville. Visit Drake's at 1222 Hirschland Road or DrakesComePlay.com. Now let's dance. Look at all those dancers on the Heritage Board and Otter Vision. And the beautiful Bosse Field with an 80-gram celebration. At one of our ringside picnics, including your guests will receive an exclusive Otters special edition hat. If you'd like to be a part of an upcoming Evansville Otters home game, it's simple. Go to EvansvilleOtters.com. Call the front office at 812-435-8686. Now let's get back to dancing. Third baseman, number 28, Yomar Reyes.
Wednesday afternoon baseball at Bosse Field, where the Otters lead 4-0. Miners have been shut out by Tim Holgrafer. 4-run second inning for Evansville. Yomar Reyes leads off the bottom of the 6th and fouls the first pitch away down the first base line. Reyes 0 for 2 today, working on a 12-game hit streak. A base hit here is the 0-1. Look out, it hits Reyes. It points Reyes on the chest, so no base hit here for Yomar Reyes, but he is aboard on a hit pitch. That's the 3rd time the Otters have been hit today.
And there's some days where it just feels like the Otters hitters have a magnet somewhere on them because team's been hit by so many pitches this year.
53 times the Otters have been hit. That's over 20 more than any other team in the league. Just absurd. Ethan Skinder takes a strike at the knees. It is hard to see how that's possible, but it's a mentality brought in by Andy McCauley. The Otters led last year in hit by pitches as well. Skinder swings and lines one down the right field line. Racing over is Mateo and making a running grab. What a snare by Edwin Mateo in right field for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and a really good piece of hitting from Skinder. Gets a ball up in a way that he just drives to opposite field, does absolutely everything he can with that ball, and right-handed hitter. The ball's tailing way away from Edwin Mateo, but great play down the line.
On the way, brings up Aaron Beck. Takes the first pitch strike. Back to the hit batters. Otters have been hit 53 times now. This is their 35th game, so they're getting hit about 1.5 times per game. The 0-1, Beck fouls away left side. The Quebec and Ottawa are tied for second most at 36. So the Otters 53 times have been hit. 36 is Quebec and Ottawa in second. Just crazy numbers. 0-2, missing outside, 1-2 to Beck. Last year, the Otters were hit 104 times, which led the league. It was 2 more than Schaumburg. Beck fouls one back. And this year, the Otters are on pace to smash that number. Already halfway there, over halfway there, and we're only a third through the season. One and two. Beck swings and drives one to right. Over to his left is the right fielder, Mateo, coming in and makes the grab. 2 away.
Seen a handful of fly balls for these Miners outfielders that have just been difficult to make their way to. They haven't had any blunders yet, but the wind, I think, is really catching those balls in the air. We felt the wind here in the press box the last couple nights.
15-mile-per-hour winds blowing straight in from center field and moving a lot of balls that get sent up into the atmosphere all around. 2 outs. George Khalil, the batter, with Reyes at first. 4-0 Otters lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Khalil takes the first pitch high for a ball. One to 0. Khalil swings up the middle, hits off the mound, and pops up into center field. A base hit for George Khalil. Khalil had 3 hits yesterday, went 3 for 5. Has another hit today, now 8 hits for Khalil in his last 10 games played. He's playing his best baseball of the year.
Yeah, no doubt. He's had a hot bat, and he's played a lot of games recently in that 8-hole in the lineup. Dropped back down to the 9-hole today after 3 hits yesterday, but it's not always a bad thing as a coach. I mean, you get a runner on right before you're back to the top of your lineup.
Now Noah Myers. Lefty takes the first pitch strike at the knees. Second inning of work for Tyler Lunacki. Cole Davis finishing just 4, the starter today for Sussex County. Swing and a miss by Myers, 0-2. Two on with 2 out. They're in the bottom of the 6th. Evansville leads 4-0. A pitch inside, 1-2 to Myers. Lunacki comes home. Inside, bounces away from Richards, back onto the grass in front of him, and both runners will advance. Reyes goes to third, Khalil to second. Two and 2 count to Noah Myers. Lunacki winds and throws. Outside, a full count.
Another really good at-bat from Myers. He's so selective, and it's going to make you bring it to him. He's not going to give you anything if you're a pitcher.
Payoff, slice, foul. Myers stays alive. The big double in the 6th inning yesterday put the Otters in front. 0 for 2 today, but did walk and score back in the 2nd. Myers has hits in 12 of his last 13 home games. He's been terrific at Bosse Field. Another payoff is at the letters for strike 3 called. Myers left looking. Otters strand 2 in the 6th, but they still lead 4-0. 6 innings complete from Bosse Field on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Fans, who wants a t-shirt? Make some noise at the standpoint. And that is your weather over Carolina. We're going to make some noise. Let me hear ya. We can roar. Roar. Alexa says roar. She can hear you. Skip the line or don't for the comfort of your own home. A self-service option to the area. Share with your proud partner of Evansville Otters baseball.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Bud Light. Otters lead 4-0 with 6 innings complete here on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin, Epstein, Lucas Daunhauer, director Michael Rust. So glad you can join us and spend part of your midweek afternoon with us. Last afternoon, midweek game here at home for the Otters. They'll have some of these on the road. The Otters playing this heavy home schedule right now, 12 of 15 games here at Bosse Field. It's the second of a second six-game homestand this month for the Otters. Leading 4-0 as Tim Holgraver comes home, chopped up the middle by Anu and through, bouncing over the second base bag into center field. Leadoff base hit for Oraj Anu after 3 hits yesterday. He has his first hit here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, and he's really just simplified his swing here at Bosse Field. Right there, you've got a pitcher who's been dealing so well on the mound, and just need a base runner or try to get something started. Anu does just that.
Brings up Jawan Harris, the center fielder, who's 0 for 2. Miners have not gone much against Holgrafer. Harris takes a strike at the knees. Just the 4th base hit. Only one runner has reached into scoring position. Yeah, 1 home. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike to Harris. No action in the Otters bullpen. This is Holgrafer's game right now. 74 pitches in the 7th. Hasn't walked a batter. Just the 4 base hits and 6 strikeouts. Working out of the stretch. Sets at the chest. Cox back and fires. Swung on and grounded to short. Khalil underhand toss to Skinder at second to first. Double play. 6-4-3. A tailor-made double play for the Otters. Erases the runner, and there's 2 away in the top of the 7th.
And there's that cutter from Holgrafer that's been just so effective today. He's pitched to a lot of contact with it, but so often he'll get guys to either drop their hands and get a fly out, or right there, some last second tail on the ball, get a hitter to roll over, and a tailor-made double play to erase that leadoff hit.
So 2 away, and it brings up Juan Santana, the second baseman, with Anu at first. First pitch to Santana is outside for a ball, 1-0. Khalil and Skinder have gotten very comfortable teaming up for double plays. That's the 12th one. Those two have combined to turn on the Otters infield. 1-0. Beautiful cutter on the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. It's clear Khalil was excellent last year. 59 double plays turned as a new second baseman this year, but those two have really found a great tandem.
They have, and they're just so comfortable with each other. Communication's been great.
1-1 fouled away by Santana.
You really get in a groove with your middle infield partner, and the experience of playing together, it's something that doesn't always come easy for a pair of people, but it's been great this year.
1-2. Swing and a miss. No foul tip by Santana. Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Santana had a good hit. His last at-bat, a guy who spent 4 years in the Astros organization. We said he's been one of the main producers of RBIs for this Miners team.
Holgrafer comes home outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Holdgrafer already worked a quality start for the Otters. It's his 6th of the year. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Santana swings through the trademark cutter. Strikeout number 7 for Holdgrafer. Inning number 7, putting a big 0 on the board. We'll stretch at Bosse Field. The Otters lead 4-0 on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Carolina on the Heritage Video Board. We do have a call to the bullpen. Sussex County 11, Billy Parsons in the pitch. The battering Parsons on. Richards behind the plate. Battery powered by the answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery to the answer Auto Repair East. 2319 North River Road. Or give them a call 812-475-9000. Everyone's saying from the Otters since you. Leading off for the Evansville Otters.
4-0 lead for the Evansville Otters over the Sussex County Miners. 4 runs in the second inning. The only half inning with runs today, but it's been more than enough for Evansville with Tim Holdgrafer absolutely dominant on the mound. 7 shutout innings for the Otters. New pitcher into the ball game for the Miners, Billy Parsons, righty from Australia. Played in the winter with the Canberra Cavalry, the Australian Baseball League. 8th appearance of the year for Parsons. Been excellent, as has this whole Miners bullpen. 1.54 ERA and 11 2/3 innings pitched. Otters and Miners bullpens very similar. A lot of guys that have all been excellent this year. Otters starting rotation has actually been a little bit more consistent than the Miners. The bullpen's numbers slightly better for Sussex County than Evansville. Brian Rosario leading off. Takes the first pitch strike. Parsons winds and fires. A slicer off the inside of the bat of Rosario, picked up by the third baseman. Mao fires to first in time to beat Rosario on away. Another impressive play by Mao, the hot corner. He's made some nice running plays and throws.
Yeah, he had one play at the beginning of the game yesterday where he kind of just sat back on a ball that was bouncing decently slow, caused him to make a little bit of an overthrow, and ever since then he's done so well at charging in, going across the diamond, and making all sorts of plays over there at third.
Brings up Kona Quiggle, takes the first pitch strike. One out, nobody on here in the bottom of the 7th. 4-0 Otters lead. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and popped up into center field by Quiggle. Coming in is the center fielder Harris to make a jogging catch. And there's 2 away.
Right fielder, number 33, Jeffrey Baez.
2 away, and it brings up Jeffrey Baez. Baez 0 for 3 today. He's went out to right twice and popped up to first. Baez with 9 home runs. He had the crazy series against Tri-City here at Bosse Field last week. 3 home runs in the series. Baez swings at the first pitch, pops it up down the right field line. Chasing over is the first baseman Stupinski, but it will bounce off the top of the roof.
Yeah, Baez was 0 for 2 yesterday when he came out of the game by ejection, and like you said, 0 for again today. Been really consistent this year. It's not that common to see him go 2 games in a row without a hit, just looking to find his way again here at the plate.
A 1 home swing and a miss by Baez, 0-2. Just 5 hits today for the Otters, but they put 4 up in the second, all with 2 outs. 0-2 outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Evansville has only lost 2 games all season when leading going into the 8th inning, but one of those was last night. 1-2 into the dirt, 2-2. Miners scored 1 in the 9th to tie it, all with 2 outs, and then 2 in the 10th to take the lead and take the opener here at Bosse Field. Otters trying to bounce back with a win today and set up a series rubber match tomorrow. 2-2 home. Baez pops it up, right side again, and out of play.
Over the top ball, brought to you by Vex Construction. Choose the best.
No action in the Otters bullpen. This is Tim Holdgrafer's game right now. He's allowed just 4 hits and no runs through 7. 2-2. Baez, a number off the inside of the back, grounded down the third baseline, picked up by Mal, throw across to first. In time, the Otters go down in order in the 7th. 4-0 lead for the Otters over the Miners on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Today's attendance, 3,434. Give yourself a big round of applause. We thank you for your support of Evansville Otters baseball. 3,434 paid at the ballpark today.
To the top of the 8th inning from Evansville, Indiana. It's a warm and blustery day in the River City. Wednesday afternoon baseball in front of 3,434. A lot of kids, summer camps in attendance. And they've watched quite a gem from Tim Holdgrafer. He's thrown 7 shutout innings, allowed just 4 hits, not a walk on his tab, 7 strikeouts. And he works here into the 8th to face Will Zimmerman of the Miners. No one is even stretching or standing in the Otters bullpen. They're just enjoying this show by Holdgrafer right now. Comes home to Zimmerman, a beautiful breaking ball at the knees for a strike.
And Holdgrafer sitting at just 83 pitches here going into the 8th. It would be really interesting to see what Max Peterson would do if he gets another efficient inning here.
A 1 swing and a miss. Back to the breaking ball again, 0-2. No Otter has pitched into the 9th inning this year. Holdgrafer pitched 8 shutout innings against Joliet in early June. We're going to win there. One of the more impressive outings of the season. The 0-2 outside, 1-2.
Yeah, he's been so good today. He's gotten a lot of really soft contact off that cutter, and we'll go to the breaking ball for somewhat of a strikeout pitch, and everything's been working today for Tim Holdgrafer.
1-2. Oh, look out. It hits Zimmerman. Rare pitch that is missed. Almost nothing is missed from Holdgrafer. That's the first free pass. A fastball missing inside and hitting Zimmerman. Zimmerman in a little bit of pain. It hit him on the back. And the athletic trainer running out for Sussex County to check on Zimmerman, who's crouching down in foul territory.
I think it just knocked the wind out of him a little bit, if anything.
It was a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. That's going to really hurt. Holdgrafer didn't have a walk today, didn't have a hit batter. I don't think there's even been very many times he's gotten to 3 balls on a pitcher. That's how good his control's been most of the day. Check complete with the Miners athletic trainer, Dr. Casey Pierce. Back to the dugout, and Zimmerman good enough to continue over at first base. Kyle Richards is the batter with 1 on and nobody out. Holdgrafer comes home. Richards takes outside, 1-0. Holdgrafer for the chest, winds and throws. Richards pops it up. Down the right field line, Baez racing over and making a running catch. The throw down to second on the tag. He is out. Jeffrey Baez, a running grab into foul territory, softly collided with the wall down the right field line, and then a bullet of a throw to second as Will Zimmerman unwisely trying to tag on Jeffrey Baez. It's a double play, and there's 2 away.
And what a play by Jeffrey Baez. We talked about earlier, a little bit of a maze to make a play in either of these Bosse Field bullpens, and turns and makes a throw on a pretty speedy Zimmerman.
Really a Scala lefty takes a first pitch inside with 2 outs and now nobody on here in the top of the 8th. 4-0 Evansville.
And if there was any chance left that we were going to see Tim Holdgrafer in the 9th, that may have just salvaged it.
I mean, there's still no movement in the Otters bullpen. No one's standing up even. Swing and a miss by a Scala, 1-1.
That the 90th pitch just thrown by Tim Holdgrafer.
His season high is 101. Likely would have to go over that to complete the complete game, but this is one where it's going to be hard to pry the ball from his hands. The 1-1 is grounded down the first base line, a fair ball, and rolling all the way into foul territory. As Scala into second with a stand-up double. He ripped that one down the first base line, right over the bag, past the diving Quiggle.
And that the probably first breaking ball today that Holdgrafer has kind of hung over the plate. Every single one we've seen from him has either painted a corner or just fallen out of the zone. This one catches the heart of the plate, and good piece of hitting by Escala to stay back and drive that down the line.
It's the first extra base hit of the day for the Miners. Double by Escala. And back to the top of the order in the dangerous Edwin Mateo. He's 0 for 3 today, but hitting over 300 on the season to lead the Miners. Mateo takes a first pitch strike. And now there is action in the Otters bullpen as Kevin Davis is starting to throw. Here's the 0-1. It's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Mateo. 4-0 Otters here in the top of the 8th. Evansville needs 5 more outs for a victory. Could not close out the game yesterday against Sussex County. Trying to flip the script here today. Holdgrafer peeks back at second, deals home. Outside to Mateo, 2-1. +3 day, white jersey blowing in the breeze for Tim Holgraver as he works out of the stretch, leaning in for the sign from Dakota Phillips. Black glove sets at the chest, peeks back at second. Lifts up the leg, comes home. Change up outside, 3-1 to Mateo. I think this is the first time all day I've seen this count from Holgraver. I don't think he's faced a 3-0 or a 3-1 all day.
Yeah, he's certainly avoided those good hitters counts and a couple of cutters that just barely miss on the outside corner.
3-1 count to the lefty. He comes home. It misses outside again. So the first walk of the day by Holgraver on a bunch of cutters that just missed outside. And there's 2 on with 2 out. Getting a little nervy here in the 8th. And Max Peterson out to have a word with the righty. Probably just 1 more out needed for Holgraver. Davis is quickly getting loose in the pen. See if Max Peterson lets Holgraver face Mao. Try to get the last out here in the 8th.
Yeah, and the way he's worked this whole day already has an 8-inning performance on the year. I think Max Peterson would have to pry the ball out of Tim Holgraver's hands. He's going to want to get this last out, and he's going to have the opportunity to do it.
Max Peterson, the Otters pitching coach, exits. Infielders back to their locations. 2 on, 2 out, and Abraham Mao, the third baseman, to the plate. Mao, not a good series so far. He's 0 of 8. Hitting .291 entering this series. Has some pop. Nothing so far this week. Righty batter with Escala at second and Mateo at first. Holgraver delivers home. Breaking ball on the inner half for his strike, 0-1. Holgraver out of the stretch. Blue cleat set up on the right side of the rubber. Peeks back at second. Fires home. Cutter on the outside corner for a strike. And it's 0-2. 1 more strike needed for Holgraver to finish 8 shutout tonight. Holgraver delivers. Swing and a miss by Mao. 8 shutouts. 8 strikeouts. Tim Holgraver, brilliant today for the Evansville Otters. 4-0, Evansville leads. They're 3 outs away from a victory to tie this series up at a game of the peace. We'll be right back on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will not have the kids fly around the bases this afternoon. We do apologize for the inconvenience, but no post-game autographs. More kids run the bases. Come back tomorrow night to enjoy at Griffin, Bosse Field. 7, Dakota Phillips.
Frontier League Baseball on Flow Sports is brought to you by Working Distributors Evansville. Dakota Phillips hitting things off in the bottom of the 8th for the Otters. 4-0 lead for Evansville. Kevin Davis still working in the Otters bullpen. Tim Holgraver, 8 shutout innings in line for the win. What a win it would be as Phillips swings and misses 1-1. Have to be impressed with Holgraver. A little bit of definitely a shaky start against Schaumburg, his last home outing. The 1-1 to Phillips' high, 2-1. Pretty good against Windy City, 6 innings, allowing just 2 runs, but today has been full-on complete dominance from the third-year Otter.
Yes, similar to what we saw after his first outing of the season.
2-1 is fouled off the screen.
Coming back off that Schaumburg performance, like you said, a pretty good outing against Windy City, and then absolutely Tim Holgraver's best stuff on display again today. It'll be interesting to see going forward what happens with his career and in this season. A guy who he had success in affiliated ball last year all the way up at the AAA level at a certain point, and I would be shocked if he doesn't get picked up again this season.
2-2. Phillips again fouls off the backstop. Holgraver will turn 27 in July as Phillips swings and grounds one to the first baseman. Stupinski gloves it and steps on the bag. 1 away.
Yeah, 27, you know, you're getting up there a little bit in age, but, I mean, he's proven that his stamina to go deep into outings is without a doubt still there. He's developed into a really good 3-pitch pitcher in a modern-day game with so many 2-pitch pitchers at this level.
Billy Parsons fires home to Jomar Reyes, who takes inside.
I mean, it's rare. You'll find a lot of guys who fastball and slider can be effective, but his cutter serves essentially as a changeup. But
Reyes swings, grounds one, diving is Escala on left, can't get there, it's into left field. It's another hit for Jomar Reyes. I think he knows it as he's down at first base clapping his hands. He's extended his hit streak, his 13th straight game with a hit, and that is the Otters now best on the season.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why he's been able to do that is his ability to go down and hit low pitches, I think, is significantly better than it was when he played affiliated ball and gets a 90-mile-an-hour fastball just at his knees inside, turns on it, keeps his hit streak alive.
Ethan Skinder comes to the plate and takes a strike inside 0-1. So 13 games now for Jomar Reyes, passes Dakota Phillips for the longest hit streak of any Otter. 0-1 to Skinder is fouled off the screen. Oh, back to Holgraver. It is certainly 27, is starting to get older when you look at a team picking him up, but he did prove not just pitching in the minors, but a lot of success, especially at the high A level with West Michigan. He threw 11 innings, only allowed 4 earned runs. Did not pitch, though, as a starter, which is interesting if that'd be something that would be changed if he was picked up again. The 0-2 on the inside. Skinder can't hold up. Checked his swing and went around 0-2, or out number 2.
Yeah, and if he can continue like today to go deep into ball games, it would be really interesting to see him get another opportunity, but as a starting pitcher, and just see how that would work out. I mean, he moved around so much last year, and he's pitching a little out of his role in the bullpen. It's not always the easiest to get settled in. He did fairly well, all things considered.
Aaron Beck stands in and fouls the first pitch away, 0-1. I think the tough part is realistically an MLB team likes to sign a guy to make a long-term investment, and can you sign a guy who's about to be 27 and expect him to start for your major league team. A one by Beck is a knuckler off the end of the bat. One hop to the third baseman Mao. A forced toss to second. And stepping on the bag is Santana for the third out of the inning. Kevin Davis coming into the ball game for the Otters in the top of the ninth to try to close out the win. Evansville leads 4-0 through 8. The Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
Who's ready for the holy moly? Indiana 811 video board. Stephen is on assignment elsewhere, I assume. So 1, 2, or 3? We'll find holy moly. Just remember to call 811 before digging. Is it 1, 2, or 3? And the answer is, it is 3. Congratulations. And again, if you want to dig even just a couple of centimeters into the ground, you do have to call Indiana 811 or go to 811now.com, proud partner of Evansville Otters baseball. Evansville called the bullpen. 66 Kevin Davis into pitch. Senator Davis is on the mound. Phillips behind the plate. That's powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your veteran needs at the Answer Auto Repair East. 2319 North River Road or 812-475-9000. Tell them Zane from the Otters sent you. Leading off the ninth inning for Sussex County at first base. 44, Gavin Stupinski.
Welcome back to Bosse Field. 4-0 lead for the Otters over the Miners. Kevin Davis on the mound. First pitch swung on by Gavin Stupinski. Line down the right field line and foul. And welcome back to those watching on Flow Sports as well. First pitch from Kevin Davis was fouled away by Gavin Stupinski here in the top of the ninth. Evansville leads 4-0. They're 3 outs away from winning on this Wednesday afternoon and tying this series up at a game apiece. The 0-1 home is low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Davis has been excellent this year for the Otters. Hasn't given up an earned run since May. 3.77 ERA and 14 1/3. 12 appearances. 1-1 from the big 6'9" righties outside to Stupinski, 2-1. Davis coming off an inning in 2/3. Pitched against Gateway on Sunday, did allow 1 hit and 1 walk, but no runs crossed. Winds and throws. It's on the inside corner for a strike, 2-2. Tim Holgraver, 8 shutout innings, tying a season high of 8 innings pitched, tying a season high of 8 strikeouts. Had just 1 walk, hit just 1 batter, allowed just 5 hits. Well, flutters by Davis, comes home. It's inside and a full count to Stupinski. Miners rallied in the 9th yesterday, but they were only down 1 run there. They're down 4 here. Here's the payoff home. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Stupinski looks at a 93-mile-per-hour fastball in the inner corner, 1 away.
Yeah, and Davis got a couple of strikes there where he just painted that lower inside corner around Stupinski's knees. Goes back to it there. Beautiful pitch. Just freezes a guy who has some affiliated ball experience. But he's been shut down so far this series against the Otters.
Raja New, switch hitter batting lefty, stands in, swings and misses at the first pitch, 0-1. Anu had a solo home run yesterday in 3 hits. He's 1 for 3 today. Otters need just 2 more outs to set us up for a series decider tomorrow evening here at Bosse. Davis twirls home. Anu takes a strike on the inner half. Will be Austin Gossman, the righty tomorrow for the Otters, who's 3-1, a 4.13 ERA on the season. Against the Miners ace, Griffin Baker, 3-2, the lefty, with a 2.90 ERA. His last outing, he worked a no-hitter into the 8th. Swing and a miss by Anu, and there's 2 away.
It's been interesting because 2 best pitching staffs in the Frontier League, but the way that their starting rotations overlapped was quite a bit different. Like you said, we got the ace in the Otters today in Tim Holgrave for the back end of the Miners rotation, and obviously tomorrow Gossman, a guy that the Otters have a lot of confidence in. It'll be a good pitching matchup with the Miners ace in a rubber match if things hold here.
Juwan Harris, last hope here for the Miners, takes the first pitch strike. The Otters an out away. Davis has gotten the first 2 outs courtesy of the strikeouts. Evansville looking for their 5th shutout of this season, which would tie them for first in the Frontier League. 0-1. Outside, 1-1 to Harris. Just 5 hits today for Sussex County. Just 1 extra base hit. Davis sets at the chest. The 1-1. A breaking ball on the outside corner, 1-2. Harris and the Miners down to their last strike. The 1-2. He is low, 2-2. Davis winds and throws. Pulled it into the left-handed batter's box. So Harris strikes out looking. Davis strikes out the side in the 9th. And the Otters shut out Sussex County for a 4-0 win this afternoon at Bosse Field.
Yeah, and what a performance by the Otters pitching staff. Tim Holgrave for 8 innings pitched. About as dominant of a performance we've seen by an Otters pitcher this year, and we've seen some really good ones along the way.
8 shutouts, 8 strikeouts. Really only blip came in the 8th inning when he walked his first batter, hit his first batter, and allowed his first extra base hit. His first 7 innings, borderline flawless. Just 4 base hits allowed in 4 different innings. The Otters, it took just 1 inning in the 2nd inning. They didn't do much offensively today, just 6 hits. But against a very good pitching team, all you need is that 1 big inning, and the Otters accomplished that in the 2nd. They had 3 hits, a hit batter, and a walk, and a really key error as well by Sussex County. There would have added an extra 2 runs for the Otters in the inning, so it would have been 2 instead of 4 and made the game a lot tighter.
Yeah, and we knew coming into this series the Otters would have to make the most out of every opportunity they had on offense. And last night we saw them leave 11 runners on base and still not a lot of opportunities. I mean, you got to tip your cap to the Miners bullpen. They were just about flawless once again. But a really good 2nd inning by the Otters. They make the most out of the opportunity that presented itself, and that's all it takes when you've got a pitching staff that's a well-oiled machine like here in Evansville.
So 4-0, the Otters take down the Miners, even up the series at a game apiece. It drops the Miners out of first place in the Frontier League East, with Sussex County falling to 22-12. Evansville improving to 21-14. They're now a game back of Schaumburg for first place in the West. Tim Holdgrafer, the win for the Otters. 8 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, no runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. It's the 3rd time this season Holdgrafer has been the starter in an Otters shutout So he works 8 shutout today. Kevin Davis worked a perfect 9th. Offensively, just 6 hits for the Otters. They were led by Aaron Beck, the first multi-hit day of his professional career. He goes 2 for 4 and scores a run. So Game 3 will be tomorrow evening, a series decider, 6:35 first pitch. Should be a great pitching matchup between Griffin Baker and Austin Gossman. We hope you join us then on Flow Sports and the Otters Digital Network. But that does it for this afternoon here from Evansville for our entire excellent Flow Sports and Evansville Otters Digital Network crew. Our director, Michael Russ, my partner, Lucas Daunhauer. I'm Griffin Epstein saying a so long from the River City as the Otters shed out the Miners, a final score of 4-0.